welcome to the stage candidate for Montana 2nd Congressional District, Kev Ham.
Good evening, Montana Democrats. God, I hope you put the limiter on this or we're all going to go deaf. Everybody's been telling you about how this is the most important election in our lifetime, and they're not wrong, but I'm not here to talk about the things that we fear. I'm here to talk about the things that we love and that we're going to do. Because when you elect good Democrats, you get good governance and things are amazing. And that's the fundamental difference between us and the other side. We need to talk about what we're going to do, that we're going to improve all levels of education and make it accessible to all, that we're going to expand communications access, that will make energy cheaper and greener and clean up the environment, that we're going to make health care more affordable, that we're going to make unions stronger, income more fair, retirements secure, abortion safe and legal, and that we're going to make government work better, be less adversarial so that people can actually get things done. We need to talk about how we're going to use taxes smarter, how we're going to get corporations and the 1%ers to pay their fair share, and how we're the ones who will fight for everyday Montanans so that we can all enjoy our lives. Wouldn't that be amazing? So we've got our work cut out for us because we need to re-elect Tester so that we can continue to have at least one person in the Senate who gives a shit about this state. We need to elect Ryan Bussey and Rafe Graybill so that we can have an administration that actually works. We need to elect Shannon O'Brien, Ben Alke, Jesse Mullen, and as you heard tonight, John Rebke, who just joined the race literally 30 minutes before this dinner. Because we need the land board to be amazing again, too. And then we need to elect people to the House of Representatives that actually care about Montana, that are committed to this race, to this job, to this state and its people. For over 27 years, the only people that we've had in the U.S. House have been about their own money and power. They've used this job as a stepping stone to be governor, to be senator, to be retired on the rocks with Rehberg, to sell off our public lands. We won't mention any names, but his initials are Ryan Zinke. They never stay in this position. They're not committed to the job. There are plenty of us who are. We've lost 27 years of representation to these corrupt goons. It's time we have some consistency, somebody in there that is absolutely going to fight for everything that Montana is about and make sure this remains the best state in the nation. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I've run Montana Pride for over a decade. I've sat on, thank you. God loves a rainbow. I've sat on the executive boards of Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, obviously. I've been on the board of the Montana Democratic Party, and I've been on arts organizations like Queen City Ballet. I've owned my own small business for over 15 years, and I've worked hard every day to make it a go. From doing promotional marketing for others to getting the Frontier Conference schools up and running and streaming their sports 5 years before NCAA schools, just FYI. Because again, Montana is amazing. So I've also been involved in community events and things like Grant Street Theater and Cow Tipping Comedy. But most importantly, I've been engaged in the process of local and state policy making for nearly 2 decades, with a focus on expanding communications, infrastructure, economic development, and social justice. I previously ran for Public Service Commission, and I have led and organized statewide Pride celebrations, partnering with businesses and cities across Montana to create dynamic events. And here's the thing about those events. In every one of those cities, I had to work with city commissioners. They weren't Democrats. They still did what I told them. And it was awesome and amazing. And that's what we need. I know how to work with all sides. I know how to work with Republicans. Hell, I was raised by them. Take that how you will. In many cases, people keep hearing over and over again, and the New York Times is particularly egregious in this, that both parties are the same. And you know what that is? Bullshit. We need to be out there telling our stories. We need to be out there telling what happens when we meet Republicans. In fact, let me tell you my favorite story. This last year, I was in Lewistown for the Choke Cherry Festival, which is awesome. If you've never been, I highly recommend it. I was standing at the Democrat booth, and this gentleman in a veteran hat came up, and he was very angry, and he started yelling at me about taxes. And he was so upset because his property taxes are now more than his mortgage. He's in the 28th year of a 30-year mortgage. It can happen. He was just absolutely angry, and he started yelling about how the Democrats did all of this wrong. Hold up, sir. First off, I'm running for the federal office. We don't do property tax. Secondly, you know there was a supermajority, right? And he said, yeah, and that's why the Democrats did all this to us. Sir, the Republican booth is about 4 down. I'm going to need you to go down there and ask who had the supermajority, then come back and have a chat. He stomps off. I watch him as he leans in and asks a question, and then turns around, turns bright red, stomps back up, and then proceeds to yell about how dumb they are and why they screwed it up and how they're terrible people for about 15 minutes. And once he was done, I said, how do you feel now? He said, well, I'm going to have to vote for a Democrat. I said, sir, it's even worse than that. You're going to have to vote for a gay man. He goes, I don't care about that. And ultimately, that's the problem. The marketing for the queers is better than the marketing for the Democratic Party. So we need to get out there and tell our stories. Because everything can be amazing. I'm running for MTO2, which is the Eastern District. It's weird to say that I live in Eastern Montana, because I live in Helena. And I've seen a map, and I know how lines work. So I'm very confused by that. But much like uphill is south in this town, I'm in Eastern Montana, MTO2. My name is Kevin Ham. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your vote. I appreciate your donation. And I appreciate you showing up tonight.